Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome dear learners. This is a video for the subject of education for the course of Bachelor's in Education and for the paper of Educational Technology. This video is based on the science of teaching learning, and here in this lecture we will be discussing the types of models of teaching. This video lecture is recorded by Dr. Iram Khan. The course coordinator and the presenter of this video is Dr. Iram Khan from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. The academic expert or the reviewer of this video is Professor Nasreen Mujib of Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. This video is produced under the project DTH Swayam Prabha Channels of Ministry of Education, Government of India. Hello dear students, I am Dr. Iram Khan, Assistant Professor at Institute of Advanced Studies in Education, Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. Today we are going to have a discussion on the module which is named as Science of Teaching Learning, and in this lecture the focus will be on the types of models of teaching. So let us start the discussion first with the objectives. The objectives of this session are to discuss the various types of models of teaching, to describe the specific teaching models belonging to the different families of models of teaching. So we have seen a lot of things which are related to the models of teaching earlier, and we all know as of now that there exist many teaching models which are arising from a variety of sources representing different frames of reference towards educational goals and methods. So the focus of these teaching models are basically to cover the stipulated objectives and goals of teaching. So many attempts have been made to classify all these teaching models in some specific categories. And out of all those researches and the attempts, we have got few of those which are worth mentioning. And the attempt made by Joyce and Weil is somehow very important to know, and it is somehow the most usually undertaken and comprehensible way of understanding the types of models of teaching. So let us just have a look at what exactly these these types of models of teaching given by Joyce and Weil are. So by exploration of many sources, they have, like the people who are named as Joyce and Weil, they have grouped the models on the basis of specific educational goals and means into the four families. And what are these four families? The first family of the teaching models is the information processing model. The second family is social interaction model, and the next family, the third family, is of the family of personal development models, and the last family is of the behavior modification models. So in this four categories, basically Joyce and Weil have given a categorization of the teaching models, and we also know all these categories as the families of teaching models. In this session, we will be discussing about all these four categories or the four families, and we will also see that what are those specific models which are coming under the category of these four families. So in brief, we are going to discuss all these four categories. So the first category or the first family of the teaching models is the information processing family. So what exactly is the meaning of this term information processing? Basically, this term information processing has been introduced by Joyce and Weil in the year 1972. And in their own words, under quotes, information processing refers to the ways people handle stimuli from the environment, organize data, sense problems, generate concepts and solutions to problems, and employ verbal and non-verbal symbols. Quotes close. So these are the words of Joyce and Weil, in which they actually provide a kind of explanation of the term information processing. And in this way, the information processing models are more concerned with the intellectual growth rather than the emotional or social development of an individual. And to a certain extent, all these models which are coming under this category of information processing models, they contribute towards the realization of personal and social goals. Let us try to see that what are those specific models which come under this family or under this category of information processing models. One by one, we will just see that what are those particular models and who were the people who have given these uh, particular models or these theories, and then what exactly is the mission or goal for these particular specific models. So how these models are applicable. So let us just try to see it one by one. The first model which come under the category of information processing or the family of information processing is the inductive thinking model, which is given by Hilda Taba. What exactly this model is specifying, or where this model is applicable the most, is basically whenever we are going to use it where inductive mental process is required. So this particular model is designed primarily for the development of inductive mental process and academic reasoning or theory building. But these capacities are useful for personal and social goals as well. So in this way, we can say that these capacities of inductive mental processes or academic reasoning, theory building, all these are mental capacities, and these are useful for personal as well as the social goals. So to accomplish the personal and social goals. So this is the first model in this family, the inductive thinking model given by Hilda Taba. The second model in this family itself is the inquiry training model, which is given by Richard Schumann. And this has a very specific way of saying, basically this model is talking about training in systematic inquiry. So inquiry training model tells about the training in systematic inquiry methodology. Then the next model is under this family is the science inquiry model, which is given by Joseph J. Schwab. And this particular model is designed to teach the research system of a discipline. And here you can understand by its name that it is very much focused towards the discipline of science. Then the next is the concept attainment model, and this one is very famous and it is given by Jerome Bruner. And this particular model, the model of concept attainment, is designed primarily to develop inductive reasoning and also for concept development and analysis. Then under this particular category, the next is development model, which is given by like this development on this development model, various people, various theorists have worked, and the first one is Jean Piaget. Then there are many others like Irving Schlegel and Edmund Sullivan. They have also worked on the developmental model separately. And these particular models which come under the development model category, they are designed to increase general intellectual development, especially the logical reasoning. Then the next category or the next model under the same family of information processing is advanced organizer model, and this is also the most famous one, and this model is advanced organizer model is given by David Ausubel. This particular model is designed to increase the efficiency of information processing capabilities or the capacities to meaningfully absorb and relate the bodies, or you can say the model of knowledge. So this model, this advanced organizer model, talks about the information processing, how the information processing happens, and how this increases the capacities or capabilities which helps the individual to meaningfully absorb the model of knowledge, or basically the knowledge process is attained under the category where a person is attaining the knowledge. So here the advanced organizer model is also very important, and this is somehow the category of information processing. These six models: the inductive thinking model, inquiry training model, science inquiry model, concept attainment model, development model, and the advanced organizer model. These six models basically come under the family of information processing models. The next category is the social interaction models family. The models which belong to this family of social interaction models are concerned with the attainment of the social goals which belong to the affective domain. And we all know that affective domain has to do with all those things which are related to values, morals, and all those things which are related to the heart or maybe emotions. So the social interaction models, uh, as it is emphasized by Weil and Joyce, according to them, they, these models give priority for improvement of democratic processes and the improvement of the society by the improvement of the individual's ability. So it's very certain that these models are talking about the social development, the development or improvement of the society. And in order to do so, these models act on the development of an individual or a student or a human being. And if the individual ability is developed or improved, automatically, because the individual is the part of the society, this individual is going to add on in the value of the social environment, and in this way the society is going to develop. So the models which come under this particular family, which are talking about the social interaction, are somehow explained here. We are going to just discuss those models as we have discussed about the previous one. So the first model under the category of social interaction models is the group investigation model. And this group investigation model, on this particular model, Herbert, Helen, and John Dewey, these two have worked a lot. And according to this particular model, here the development of skills of participation in democratic social processes through the combined emphasis on academic inquiry skills is done. So this particular model talks about the development of skills, of various skills which are the part and parcel of the social democratic social process. So this is the first model. The second model under the same family is the classroom meeting model, and this model is worked on by William Glaser. This model talks about the development of self-understanding and responsibility to one individual's self, and the same individual's responsibility as a social group. So what exactly is my responsibility as an individual? And because I live with a society or inside a social group, so what is my responsibility for the social group in which I basically reside or I am the part of? So this is somehow explained in this particular model, which is named as classroom meeting model. The third model in this category is social inquiry model. And this particular model is worked on by Byron Messias and Benjamin Cox. They basically say that social problem solving, primarily through academic inquiry and logical reasoning, is somehow the essence of this particular model of social, which is called as social inquiry model. So social problem solving, and how? Through the academic inquiry and logical reasoning. So this is the essence of social inquiry model. The next model is the laboratory method model. And this particular model is worked on by National Training Laboratory, Bethel, Maine. And this model takes, it gives a important emphasis on the development of interpersonal and group skill. And through this, the personal awareness and flexibility is developed. So the development of interpersonal and group skills, which are going to give rise to the personal awareness and also a flexible nature to a human being, when this human being is going to be the part of a group, how this person becomes flexible, and how the personal awareness is going to help this individual in the in making sure that this person becomes a good individual inside a group. So this is the the crux of the laboratory method model. The next is the jurisprudential model. Jurisprudential model is given by Donald Oliver and James P. Shaver. This particular model is designed primarily to teach the jurisprudential frame of reference as a way of thinking about the resolving social issues. So what exactly is the ways which are very much important to resolve the basic problems which are there in the society, or which actually we as an individual undergo every day, every single day we go ahead with so many problems, and we are going to solve those problems and go move ahead. So what are those problems and how we solve? So these issues are basically dealt here in the jurisprudential model of teaching. The next model under this category of social interaction models is role playing model, and the role playing models are given by Franny Sheftel uh, or Franny Schaffel and George Schaffel. These models, this particular model of role playing is designed to induce the students to inquire into personal and social values, with their own behavior and value becoming the source of their inquiry. So, by the use of their own social and personal values, the students or the individuals are going to see that how they are going to become the part of the world, how they are going to fit in the world. And these social values, which are innately present in the student itself, by those innate values, how the students are going to become a proper or a better member of the society. So this role playing model talks about the designing of or to induce the students to inquire into personal and social values. After this, the last model which comes under the category which I am going to talk about is the social simulation model. And this model is given by Serene Borok. Serene Borok has given this model, which says that basically this model of social simulation is designed to help the students experience various social processes and realities, and this particular way also enables them to examine their own reaction to all these processes. So whatever happening in the society, whatever social processes are, every student or every individual has got a unique kind of experience for that particular process. So this model talks about that a teaching way or teaching model basically has to help the students to experience those various social processes and the realities. And then this particular model should help them to examine that what should be their own reaction, the unique reactions which they give in order to deal with that particular experience, which may be there should be one particular process, but I must be having another reaction, or my experience would be different by the one uh, by my students. So every individual has got unique capabilities, and the experiences and the impact of all those things which are happening in the surroundings, they make different type of impacts on every single individual. So the impacts are different. Social simulation models talk about these unique or different type of experiences, and the impacts of those experiences, and how the individuals go ahead with dealing with all those experiences. So these are those 7 type of social interaction models which come under this category of the social interaction models category. And we have just gone through a little bit um, of it, and I hope that at least you are now in a position to give the names, and also those major theorists who have talked about these models, and what exactly is the mission or goal for which these particular models are most applicable. Let us move to the next model, or the next family of models. The next family of models is of personal development models category. The family of social development models also is concerned with the realization of the instructional goals which are belonging to the affective domain. They emphasize the process by which individuals can establish productive relationship with their environment and design their unique individuality for realizing the personal goals. Then frequently, these particular models focus on the emotional life of an individual, and ultimately they basically go ahead and aim for the development of an integrated functional self or an individual, the individuality, the self concept. So they are aiming towards checking the entire emotional life of an individual, and ultimately they are going to focus on that how the self of an individual is getting developed, how it is getting integrated with all those social skills, all those individual skills, and how the personality is blooming or it's flourished. So this particular model, the personal development model, talks about this integration. Let us see that what are those particular models, the specific models which are lying in under this category or under the family of personal development models. The first here in this category is the non-directive model, which is given by Carl Rogers. So non-directive model given by Carl Rogers. This model emphasizes on the development of self-awareness, understanding. It also talks about the autonomy and self-concept. And we all know that Carl Rogers has done a lot of work on the development of self-awareness and self-concept. So this particular non-directive model talks about the development of self-awareness, understanding, autonomy, and self-concept. The next model which lies under this category or under this family is the awareness training model. And this model is given by Fritz Perls. And this particular model emphasizes on the development on interpersonal awareness and understanding. And it also talks about the how the body and the sensory awareness basically develops, how the development of the bodily and sensory awareness actually happens. So awareness training models given by Fritz Perls talks about the different types of personal awareness and understanding, which develops and gives rise to a kind of sensory awareness or bodily awareness. Then the next model is the synectics model given by William Gordon. And this model talks about the development of creativity and creative problem solving. Then the next model is about the conceptual system model, and this is given by David Hunt. And this model talks about the designing, or basically the increasing of the personal complexity and flexibility. So the conceptual system model given by David Hunt is designed basically to increase the personal complexity and flexibility, which makes a person adapted towards becoming a part of a social system. So these four are the four models which come under the category or under the family of personal development models. The next category of models is the behavior modification models, which is the last category. And here the models which belong to the behavior modification family, these are related to the behavior modification theories. They have evolved from the attempts to develop efficient systems for sequencing the learning task and shaping the behavior through management of different type of reinforcements, which normally the reinforcements are given in due course of the class or the teaching learning process. And if we try to explain it in a very precise manner, we can take the name of operant conditioning, which has given birth to most of the models belonging to the behavior modification models category, or the family of behavior modification models. So the contingency management model, the training model, stress reduction model, desensitization model, and mastery learning model belong to the family of behavior modification models. So this is somehow we can say that the the models which come under the behavior modification category, and they have given a lot of emphasis on the behavior modification theories, and where the reinforcement plays a very important role. So the categorization of these different teaching models which we have just seen, they they are somehow different from each other, but we can't say that a very kind of watertight compartmentalization has been done. We can find somehow some of those areas which are merging or which have got some similarities. So all these families, they don't have any you can say that very separate approach. uh, they are not mutually exclusive. We can say that there are a lot of inclusion which is there, a lot of things are similar, but a lot of differences are also there. So the instructional activities and the learning environments emerging from some of these models, even even though they are classified in different families, we can find remarkable similarities in those. And also within the families themselves, as we have seen in under every family there are various models, so we can find a lot of similarities or a lot of things which are similar uh, in these models. So these particular models which belong to a particular family, they share many features which are talking about the objectives and means of achieving these objectives. So we can find a lot of similarities, or the similarities of feature in respect to the objectives and the means of achieving the objectives. So somehow the models under the separate categories uh, are very much, you can say they are somehow different from each other, but they are not very different. We can find the various areas where there are a lot of similar things which can be seen in these models. So now we have reached to the end of this particular lecture, which was basically talking about a very quick overview of all those models which come under the four major categories. So by different researches, the people have, or the educationists have developed a number of teaching models for the use of these models in the guidance and the instructional work of the teachers in various ways, in different teaching learning situations. And we have seen that the eminent educationists, like the educationist whose categorization we have studied is Joyce and Vale, they have classified the models of teaching into four groups, and these four groups are the information processing models, the social interaction models, the personal development models, and the behavior modification models. And here in this lecture, we have just seen that under these four categories, what are those specific models which are given by the people, the specific educationists, and what are the peculiar features which come under the category of those specific models. This lecture is not emphasizing one single model in a very explicit way, because this is somehow just to give an idea that what are the different categories, and what can be those models which can be the part of the categories. There will be many other sessions where we will take up some specific model, and the emphasis will be on to explain the entire model. So this is all for today. We will be discussing the other models of teaching in some other lecture, some other time. So these are few of those references and suggested links which were used while the development of the lecture. You can also go ahead and study more about the teaching models by the use of these references. For today, it's all from my side. Let us see each other in another session another time. Thank you so much. Dear learners, we were watching a video on the science of teaching learning, and in this lecture we discussed on the types of models of teaching. This video lecture was recorded by faculty at home during the homebound situation of COVID-19 pandemic using minimal technical resources. Technical errors, if any, are unintentional and may please be ignored. For any queries with regard to this lecture or broadcast, kindly send your email to techsupport@dth.ac.in. Thank you so much.